Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Naaman at the Great Millstone Camp here in DC. Back for another video, but first and foremost, call all Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kahawadash, and of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders. All right, who rule well. Let me make an adjustment to my, there we go. All right. I also like to send out salutations to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, or the truth, I should say, across the four corners of this earth, aided, of course, by the numerous amounts of videos that are posted daily, all right, that we post for edification's sake, for those, of course, that choose to take advantage of that. And, of course, we know through the prophecies, time is short. So, for those of you out there, it would behoove you, all right, to repent and get your affairs in order as it concerns your relationship between Yahweh, Yahushua, and yourself while you still can, while the doors of mercy are still open. All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair uses are used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. However, nonprofit, educational, personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, so I was just sitting up here thinking about what a bunch of low-down, disgusting pariahs. I'm trying to just think of words now. Anything vile and disgusting to describe those Israelis over there in the Holy Land. Those pretenders, as I like to call them. The great pretenders, because that's what they have been. All right. And another word I came up with was abominable. And we are going to, because the video I'm about to share with you, it's going to be a short video, hopefully. Let's look up and get this out of the way. Abominable. All right, let's look that up. As an adjective, exciting disgust or loathing, morally detestable. And there's another word to associate that with when we're talking about the nation of Edom, the descendants of Jacob's brother Esau. All right, and that's profane. All right, but let's finish this. And directly from the Latin, all right, deserving abhorrence. All right, what does that remind you of? Deuteronomy 23:7, right? Deplore as an evil omen, hence generally detest, execrate, deprecate, all right? Away off or away from, all right? And now you know why Deuteronomy 23:7, all right, why they tried to alter that when you go into it, all right? Because you should indeed distance yourselves from these pieces of shit. That's what they are. All right, this is the video. This came out from Instagram. And, oh man. This is, hope I get this right. Mohammed Kishko. Israel possesses the largest human skin bank in the world, even though its population is among the least willing to donate. Around 170 square meters of human skin are reportedly stored at the Israeli skin bank. Let's go ahead and roll the video. We do not touch certain bodies, we take organs from the others. From who? We used to take organs from the bodies of Palestinians. And then the immigrants unformed
זה נחשב בנק גדול ביחס לעולם? זה הכי גדול בעולם.
הכי גדול בעולם?
כן.
Yes, the biggest in the world. What is the organ donation rate given? Why are you laughing? Because this is quite a peculiar question. I can't give an answer. The rate is very low. Okay.
השאלה לא מוזרה, התשובה מוזרה.
תשובה מוזרה. לא, התשובה לא מוזרה. משום שלא תורמים
They hardly ever donate, huh? Willingly, of course. Who would? Now, there was an incident that happened, was it last year? Where a Jake, a Southern Kingdom so-called black woman, went missing. Her body went missing. When they found it, I forget how long it was before they found it. They had taken her skin. Let's see if I can pull that up. Let's see if it's going to come up. Here it is, July 21st. This is from Newsbreak. Atlanta Black Star officer, missing her skin and eyes. California hospital hid patient's death for months after illegally harvesting her organs and urged family not to view her body. Wow, I guess you wouldn't want that. Tanya Walker, that was her name. Her family last heard from her in October 2023. The mother of four had been unhoused at times, and there's a picture of her, unhoused at times, but had never been out of contact before, much less vanished without a trace. When she was nowhere to be found as Thanksgiving neared, her loved ones launched an exhaustive search for the 51-year-old throughout Sacramento, California, where she lived. The events that unfolded, however, were beyond anything they could have imagined, and at the center of the tragedy was Dignity Health, one of the largest healthcare systems in the United States. Dignity Health. Let's look that up after I get through with this. I wonder who owns that. The investigation officially began on November 10th when Tanya's family reported her missing to the police. Her sisters, Daily Merez and Kalia Zachary, soon jumped into action, distributing hundreds of flyers, searching roadside ditches, and even crawling through storm drains to find her, all while offering $3,500 reward for information, which unfortunately led to many false leads. Not ruling out a homicide, the police used a cadaver dog and alerted the Justice Department, requesting they add her to the National Missing Persons List. A break in the case did not come until May 2024, 7 months later, when the DOJ noticed she had been marked deceased by the DMV. A sheriff's deputy told the family they had finally found Walker's body on a shelf in a morgue located on the outskirts of Sacramento. When her sisters arrived, When her sisters arrived at cremations only to identify her, see, because you can't, there's no skin, so you can't embalm her. All right, so yeah, she got to go straight to the, and like they said, she had been missing for months at that point, so wow, this some ghoulish shit. Nothing could have prepared them for what they saw. Walker was missing her eyes and skin. All right, we identified her through the tattoo on her arm. Her body was in the worst condition you can imagine. Her face looked like someone put battery acid all on her face. It was a what the fuck moment, Zachary said. They tried to convince us not to see her, but we weren't going anywhere. We've been searching for her for months. So, yeah, it's fucked up, but what are they doing over there on a larger scale? And as a personal story of mine, because I used to work for security at a hospital, I'm not going to name it, but I remember sitting at a desk in the ER And this guy comes and he, hell, I forgot what his position was, but he was one of the ones where when a person expires, when they die, they, because they got a limited time to harvest certain body parts and organs and stuff. So he comes and he says he's here to collect the. Let me remember what it was. Something to do with the eyes. And I was like, huh? And he just, he was an Edomite, of course. He says, what I look like? Do I have ghoul stamped on my forehead? I want to say something so bad. But anyway, so the lady that served as the what was her liaison, she came. But yeah, these, man. Let me finish reading this. It says, this week, after the handover of the bodies of Palestinians who were see, this is why they don't want this to end. You got to understand, just like with us over here, they never want to let us go. So much money is made. All right, there's other stories beside this woman that I just read from the Atlantic Star, that article. I'm sure you heard over the few years, all right, that Jake's organs are missing when they, like, wow. This week, after the handover of the bodies of Palestinians who were recently killed in the war by the Israeli army, some reports circulated quoting Palestinian doctors in Gaza who said that during autopsies, signs of organ theft were discovered, and that this is not the first time such incidents have occurred. Years ago, a Swedish journalist, Donald Bostrom, I guess you know, published an article in the newspaper Aftonbladet, in which he discussed accusations of organ theft from the bodies of Palestinians. So how long has this been going on, you have to ask? All right, probably very long. We're talking about decades. All right. Israel initially denied the claims, of course, made by the Swedish newspaper and described them as anti. See, this is what they do. They're trying to get it to where if you criticize Israel on anything, and I said in I think it was my last video, or at least the one before that, that it's probably going to happen here. All right, these people have played this, feel sorry for me game for so fucking long and gotten away with it, and have gotten extraordinarily rich as a result of people's naivete, their ignorance, really, of the scriptures, However, in 2009, an Israeli TV channel broadcast excerpts from the testimony of Yehuda Hiss, the director of the Israeli Forensic Institute, who confirmed that organs had indeed been taken from the bodies of Palestinians. The more they kill, the more they can harvest. Because let's face it, these people do not want, you got the rate of skin cancer over there is extremely high. It's like, how can you tell me that you don't belong in this place without telling me? All right, they're allergic to, what is it? Is it the olive oil that's produced? Or something, I forget exactly what it is. And all kinds of weird shit that's happening to these people, and it's because they don't belong. They're frauds. All right, and let's see if we can get some scriptures here. But again, this is, whoops. Let's see. Let's go to, Ezekiel 11, judgment on wicked counselors. Let's see. Where I want to start. Let's see. Israel's new heart and spirit. Yeah, because we, he put us in the hands of the lowest of the low, all right, as it says in Daniel 4:17. This is the Most High. Let me get that real quick. All right, these are the animals. If you want to call somebody an animal, it's them, all right, that are ruling over this. I made a reference earlier in another video about this whole world is a reflection, all right, of their spirit. This is Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. All right, so ultimately, like I said, this is the Most High, all right, whose name is Yahweh, by the way, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. All right, and setteth up over it the basest of men. And when you go to Job 30, it lets you know, yeah, these, Job was talking about them. All right, these are some low, this is why they were driven from the, the dark nations, because of their ways. All right, and throughout history, it's nothing, all you gotta do is a little investigative work on your own to find these things out. And it's amazing that people, you see some of these comments from videos that brothers are making, and these people are so fixated on that Christianity doctrine and stuck in it. It's like they're so comfortable they don't want to wake up. That's ignorance is bliss. They're comfortable, and what's coming up here very soon, and this is what's ultimately going to cause a lot of people to fall for what's coming, and it's that MOTB that's coming, all right, because you are comfortable. Our people, the majority, vast majority, can't see past America. They think this place, along with these Edomites, this place is going to continue on forever, as it says in Psalms 49:11. All right, he just knows, with his weapons of mass destruction, his ability to wage various forms of warfare, to include biological, any other kind you can think of. All right, he thinks he's, as it says in 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter, he's in that seat, so he thinks, all right, to where he thinks he is the Most High. And he's getting ready to get a very rude awakening, as it tells you in Ezekiel 28. In fact, listen, I was going to go to the other one. Since I said that, this is better. Now, I do believe, if I remember my history correctly, that the ruler that this is making reference to is Ithbaal the Third. Ithbaal, Ithbaal the Third. Anyway, this is prophecy against the prince of Tyre. The word of the Most High, again, whose name is Yahweh, came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Most High, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. This should remind you also of Isaiah 14 chapter. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, and he certainly is. All right, if for nothing else, the time that we're in. But you add to that is technology, and as it says in Daniel 4. All right, wait a minute. I said Daniel 4. Daniel 12:4. I just want to make sure I get the numbers. Yeah, knowledge should be increased. Okay, now let's go back to Ezekiel. Sorry about that. Ezekiel 28. All right, 3. All right, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, mostly through deceit. All right, that's what Sirach 10:8, right? And has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. Again, mostly through deception and and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. That was part of that blessing that was given him in Genesis 27th chapter, I believe, verses 38 through 41. 6. Therefore thus saith the Most High, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High, behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Obadiah, verse 7. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, saith the Most High. So, again, these ghoulish bastards, all right, harvesting, because your skin is your largest organ, so you just say harvesting, organs. All right, so yeah, that's all I had for this one. Like I said, it was going to, well, by my standards, be a short video anyway. So I like to remind you again hopefully this has been edifying to whoever views this, and this is what we do here at Great Millstone, and to remain circumspect out here, especially at these times that we're in and coming into. All right, because hey, these these Edomites are spazzing out. You can just see it in their face. Motherfuckers ready to blow a gasket. So just be aware out there. So with that, until next video, shalom.